In this video, we'll be discussing the concept of a derivative and what it really means to be finding the derivative of a function as an introduction to calculus. Let's say you want to find the slope of a function at a specific x value, and let's say we have this function graphed in purple. And let's say we draw a secant line through it, basically a line that's going to intersect our purple function at 2 points. And we'll call these 2 points of intersection x1 and y1. And then the second point, x2 and y2. So these are 2 coordinates which represent our points of intersection. And we will call the distances between x1 and x2 as h. Now let's say we want to find the slope of the line in blue. Well, we'll call this a fancy slope or difference quotient, but essentially how we can do this is just do f of x2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1. But if we want to write this in terms of h, we can also do that. We'll say that x is just x1, and we know that x2 is equivalent to x1, which we're just calling x, plus h. So x2 is equivalent to x plus h. So we can just substitute x2 for x plus h, which is what you can see we did here. And remember, slope is just change in y over change in x. So all I'm doing is finding the rise over run, or the change in the y coordinates over the change in the x coordinates. And we can simplify the denominator by doing f of x plus h minus f of x over h. Now keep this in mind, as this will be very important. As you can see, when we start decreasing the distances between x1 and x2, aka when we're decreasing the value of h, or as h is approaching 0, when those 2 distances are approaching 0, we're actually getting more closer and closer to finding the slope of the function at x1 in this scenario. And as you can see, now we can bring it so much as h approaches 0, we can actually find that tangent line, and the line becomes tangent at that point x1 comma y1. And tangent means that the line only intersects the graph at 1 point, and that point is x1 comma y1. And this can actually be expressed using limits. So we can actually find the derivative of a function with the limits process. This is just a simple introduction to derivatives using the limit process, and we're going to be moving on actually finding the derivative of a function using the limit process in the next video.